Tuesday morning after breakfast. Nathaniel has asked us all to meet in the main lobby to discuss last night's incident. I'm not sure Bradley knows what happened at all, but the other two look worried. The house is still standing, so it can't be too serious. Right now, we're just waiting for Linz and Raphael. The grand lobby, so impressive when I first saw it days ago. Now in this room, I can't help thinking about the force field that forms the bars of my prison. It's hardly there at all. There's a distortion, but you can see through it. But despite that, it's completely impassable. That could be a kind of psychological torture. If there was something you wanted more than anything else in the world, separated from you by nothing more than a soap screen bubble, but you couldn't quite grasp it. There's no one thing that I would want so badly. There's only everything. Freedom, my future, my opportunities, my choices. My whole life is waiting out there for me to get back to it. Funny how everything looks a lot like nothing. Whoops. Ah, they're here, as I double-click again. I gotta give up on this mouse. I gotta figure out what's going on with it. But we'll leave that mystery for another time, because we have to get answers to this one. As most of you know, there was some difficulty with the power systems last night. The secondary generators compensated and there was no data loss. However, it's clear that the power demands are slightly higher than anticipated. It is important that we minimize consumption in order to prevent an overload. Therefore, we must disable the air conditioning and water heater. Wait a second. I thought we were trying to cause an overload in order to shut down the force field. We will be. Eventually. Eventually? Please, don't get upset. Is there any reason I shouldn't be upset? Yes. We just couldn't tell you. I was right all along. You have been hiding something from us. Not for the reasons you think. We've kept our secrets to save an innocent life. Huh? Come with us to the basement, and you will understand. And if you touch anything, they will suffer quite inventive consequences. I'm sure they understand that. Give Bradley and Janet some credit. It is important that we all remain calm. Everyone looks at Bradley, even me. There's nothing I can do now anyway, so if you want to tell us what's going on, be my guest. Then follow me. Together we descend the stairs into the basement. I'm less frightened than I was the last time I was here, but still I don't know what to expect. What have they been hiding from us all this time? And why now are they willing to show us? It is us that they are showing, Bradley and me. Whatever is down here, everyone else already knew about it. Down and around and around and down. What is this? Inside the cavernous, unfinished space in Nathaniel's basement, someone has built a medical laboratory. There are computers and equipment, some that I recognize, some that I don't. And one patient surrounded by tubes and wires, unmoving. We all hang back at the edge of the room, staring. Who is she? My sister. Bianca! She's in a coma? Not exactly. Is she alive? At the moment, she is neither alive nor dead, but in a state where she might potentially become either. A situation which will be altered when the procedure is complete. And that's the experiment that's been counting down. This thing you're doing, it finishes tomorrow? That is correct. She looks like a sleeping princess in a fairy tale. The prisoner of a witch's curse, trapped between life and death. What happens then? Her spirit comes back, or is lost forever. Which is why it is imperative that the procedure is not interrupted. If the odds are only 50-50 at best... You've seen what you needed to see. Now get out of here. I don't want you hovering over her. Can she hear us? No, she is not there now. I just wanted to wish her well. Bianca will not remember, but we will. Let us go. Quietly, we file out of the experimental chamber, up the stairs, and back to the mansion proper. Nathaniel leads us to the sitting room and gestures for everyone to make themselves comfortable on the chairs and sofas. He remained standing, his fingertips lingering over the curves of the candlesticks atop the fireplace. The sunlight through the window should be a pleasant relief from the unnatural environment of the laboratory below. But even here, if you look closely enough, you can see the patterns of the force field crawling across the glass. Why the force fields, then? Is that part of your experiment?
I am not entirely certain how they came about. There does seem to be some sort of feedback problem leaking into the electrical system. It was not intentional.
But we can't shut down and debug it at the moment. No, of course not. You could have told us from the beginning. What possible reason would there have been to trust you? Why would we have wanted to hurt your sister?
Albin scoffs.
Huh. I don't know about your universe, but here, this sort of experiment happens to be illegal. Not to mention potentially lucrative, if information came to the right hands.
You thought we were spies?
Your arrival did seem rather coincidentally timed.
I shake my head. I don't know how things work here. I don't know what you're doing or how dangerous it is. But as long as you haven't made false promises and everyone knows the risks...
We do.
I spread my hands and shrug awkwardly. I hope it works out for you. If force fields can spring up like magic in this world, then maybe some electrical process can bring someone back from a vegetative state. I just don't know.
Now that you know, you understand why it's important to control our power usage, and why we may all be rather distracted for the next 30 hours or so.
Yes, of course. And with that, the gathering dissolves. As everyone heads off on their separate ways, I run after Albin. Wait up!
I don't want to talk about it. You have your answers.
It wasn't Bianca that I wanted to ask you about.
What else is there?
Well, you.
What do you mean?
I'm not sure this is the best time to ask him personal questions, but hey, I'm Janet Bhaskar. I do what I want. Seeing Bianca has left him a bit on edge, but if I leave him alone now, he'll probably just go off and brood all day. Being annoyed is probably better for him. Last night, I noticed you've got a lot of injuries. Are you okay?
I'm breathing, aren't I?
Well, I wondered if you'd been in an accident, or if someone was hurting you. He snorts, seeming more amused than offended.
What, you think I'm abused?
No, I'm just asking.
Has anyone told you that you're incredibly nosy?
Yes, actually. Albin seats himself on the sofa and works a cigarette out of his pocket.
My parents don't beat me, and I don't cut or burn myself for kicks. These are battle scars.
So you do get into fights.
So what?
I thought you were better than just some hot-headed brawler.
Look, little girl, sometimes a man has to prove himself.
I thought the whole reason you turned into a jerk was so that people wouldn't beat you up anymore. What's the point if you're still getting hurt?
It's not the same.
He stands up abruptly, throwing the unlit cigarette into the fireplace behind him.
When somebody pushes, you push back. I thought you understood that. You have to show that you're not afraid, that you're willing to stand and fight and take your blows. Then people respect you. If you can't do that, you're just a victim. You're helpless unless somebody else fights for you. Like I did for Bianca.
Why did you have to fight for Bianca?
If I hadn't, she'd be dead now.
You mean she's down there like that because someone attacked her?
No. Bianca was living here with Nathaniel. He wanted to marry her. She wasn't so sure, but they got along well and he offered her everything she could want. And then one day she just collapsed. No warning. Something in her brain, I don't know. The butler rushed her to the hospital, but the doctor said there was nothing they could do. And Nathaniel just stood there like a sop and accepted it. Well, I wouldn't. Linz has a reputation on the street for doing the impossible. Damn the law. And Nathaniel could afford the cost.
So you fought for them to try to save her?
I always have. Even in high school, when people said things about her, I'd fight them.
What things did they say about her?
She didn't always pick her boyfriends wisely.
Boyfriends? How many were there?
That's none of your business.
I guess Bianca wasn't completely a perfect angel. Albin certainly isn't all devil either. Well, I hope everything turns out and I get to meet her properly.
Yeah.
Nathaniel just accepted it, eh? It'll be interesting to do Nathaniel's route next and see what his views and opinions are of the whole situation.
E.
No E.
A.
1A.
I.
Yes, 2 eyes. And 2 eyes.
After dinner, we all try to think of entertaining ways to pass the time and keep our minds off things. Albin suggested poker, but that requires stakes to bet with. Raphael doesn't approve of gambling anyway. Charades was obviously useless because we don't share a common popular culture. I've never heard of any of their books or movies. At the moment, we're playing their universe's version of Hangman without the hanging. The word so far is blank A, blank I, blank blank I, blank blank. There's an I near the end with 2 letters after it. That could be an ing. How about N? We add the N and then the G, which leaves us with that. That didn't really help.
S. R.
Lynn's nods and updates to that.
T.
No.
I'm pretty sure there aren't any more vowels. It's gotta be something that goes with S. L? M? P?
Cold as ice.
Perhaps H. The H is added to... Oh! Ravishing.
Indeed.
Pervert.
It's only a word. I don't understand why such an innocent game is all about death in your world. Well, it's a kid's game, right? And kids like to joke about death a lot.
And sing terrible songs about murdering their teachers and burning down their schools.
They're awful. Children say such things.
Never underestimate the viciousness of a small child.
Never let them out of your sight. Not all children are vicious, but yes, they do tell horrible jokes at school. And play nasty pranks.
Like what?
Tax on seats. Debagging.
Kick me signs.
Tying people's feet together.
Poison.
Poison?
Generally without success, but they do try.
Nathaniel shakes his head.
Even girls do these things.
If they don't like you. Or sometimes even if they do, if they think it's funny.
Young people don't understand the damage that they can do. They're used to broken things getting fixed. They don't see the harm.
Or they just don't care. Plenty of kids don't care about anything but themselves. Most of them grow out of it as they grow up.
Once you've lost something, once you have something to regret and know the pain, you think harder about the pain you cause to others.
Or you learn to live without regret. Another game, anyone?
We're getting close. I'm sinking. Not in water, but in a substance as dark and sticky as molasses. It clings to my limbs with every movement, wearing me down. I'm not afraid. Because it's so dense, I can't sink quickly. It should be easy to stay afloat, at least for a while. I'll be alright as long as I stay calm. But I can't see anything. No light to guide me, no sign of help coming. How long can I hold on? And then from nowhere, a force pushes my head down under the surface. I'm in bed. I must have slipped down somehow. I'm all tangled up in the sheets and there's no pillow under my head. No wonder I was struggling in my dream. Blearily, I pulled the sheet off my face. What on earth? The force field, which was covering the windows and doors, blocking any escape from the house, has started to crawl inward. That's what shoved me down the bed. If the fields are collapsing, something must have gone terribly wrong. I need to get help. Everybody, wake up!
Overly dramatic, Janet.
But the force fields...
We know. Come downstairs. We've been waiting for you to wake up.
That jerk. I hurry downstairs. Here, too, the force field has shrunk inwards a few inches away from the door.
Janet, thank goodness you're all right. Where's Bradley?
Bradley hops down the stairs behind me, still fastening his pants, his face a show of confusion and dismay. Obviously, Linz was playing some kind of prank on me back there. Never mind. What's happening? Nathaniel shakes his head.
There is no immediate cause for concern. The power coils are crystallizing on schedule. Everything is on target for the reintegration this evening. This is simply an unexpected side effect.
Unexpected side effect? You said the force fields were a result of power buildup interacting with the security system wiring around the doors and windows. I point at the freestanding shimmer, which is clearly not surrounded by a door frame. Does that look like wiring to you?
It could still be projected, somehow.
Clearly I was mistaken about the nature of the interference. It must be some sort of ethereal pressure differential relating to the growing potential energy.
Cut the techno-babble and get to the point. Why aren't you more worried about this?
Simple logic. Those field effects have been discernible for days without noticeable change. Based on their demonstrated rate of expansion, they will not encroach on the laboratory before the process concludes. Therefore, they do not represent a substantial change in the risk projections for the procedure. Really, one has to expect a few unusual reactions when tampering with the forces of nature.
You were expecting something like this?
Fires, floods, explosions, hallucinations. These things happen.
I don't like the sound of this. No one asked you to come here. We all chose to take the risk for Bianca's sake. If I could send the two of you to safety, I would.
But there is no way to escape without killing Bianca.
As I said, the risk parameters have not substantially changed. You can all go about your daily business. I will keep an eye on the lab.
God will watch over us.
But with the burning, twisting light of the force field pressing in around us, how are we supposed to relax for the day? Especially when there's 9 hours left. With nothing to do but wait and hope and worry, everyone has broken up to pass the time in their own ways. I'm not sure where all of them have gone. Linz is probably in the lab. Raphael might be with him, or maybe not. I have no idea about Bradley and Nathaniel. But I think I know where Albin might be. Just chilling in his sister's room. I gotta say, I love that even though Nathaniel and Bianca were dating and he wanted to marry her, he, set up her own bedroom. He didn't, assume that she would just, stay in his bedroom. Very gentlemanly of him. Hi. Here, too, the force field throbs along the wall. It hasn't yet reached the bed, but it is cutting off the discharged sketchbook I saw the other day. I mean, discharged? Discarded sketchbook. My goodness, English. You might want to grab that photo and move it out of the way in case the field moves.
Why? It doesn't matter.
I suppose not. The changing lights play off his pale skin in technicolor contrast with the darkness of his clothing. He is so beautiful and so wounded. It hurts to look at him and be unable to fill that need. Eyes of black glass.
What are you looking at?
I don't know. I don't think this is the time to tease him. Not now. Wait. Just wait and don't scare him away. Play the patient game.
I don't know what to do.
You've done everything you could. It's up to Linz now. And fate.
And God.
I guess.
You're not Christian, are you?
I'm not anything, really. You?
Raised Catholic.
So they have Catholicism in this universe.
I've always confessed my sins and been told they were forgiven, but now it seems like God has found a way to punish me.
You? Not Bianca?
The doctor said she probably didn't even feel anything. Her spirit was snatched away in an instant. If she dies now, she'll be in heaven. I'm the one who has to suffer, knowing everything she did for me that I could never repay.
What did she do for you?
Everything! She could have gone to Paris to study. They accepted her into a good program, but it would have cost a lot more than Atlantan schools. She stayed here to save the family money, so I could go to university too. And I wasted my time there, wasted her time. I didn't even care. Even Nathaniel. She said if they were married, she would always be able to take care of her family.
Oh my god, oh no, Nathaniel! Oh no. Does she not really love Nathaniel? Oh. She just stayed with him because she's like, well, he's got money, so we'll always have money. Oh, Bianca. Oh, Nathaniel. Maybe that's why Nathaniel accepted her passing so easily. Just like, well, I didn't really think she loved me anyway. Oh no. Well, that's another bucket of worms we'll have to inspect at some point. Ugh.
She gave up everything for me. How can I ever pay that back?
He's clearly on the verge of tears, and I don't think my heart could stand to see him cry. I have to do something. How can Janet make Albin feel better? Yell at him. Oh no, I see. This is probably one of those tricksy things. Right? Where, where it's like, oh, like, Albin, you have to be, like, mad at him all the time for him to, like, respect you and stuff, but I think in this case, it's better to come. He's actually, like, opening up to you. He's not on the verge of, like, just flipping out. So I don't think we'll yell at him. I think we'll just comfort him and hope that's the right thing. Otherwise, we're getting bad end first, and then we'll finish with a good end or something. I don't know. I want to comfort this poor boy with black glass eyes. Please. It's all right. It's not your fault. You didn't force her to do those things. It was her choice. When you stood up to the boys at school who were talking dirty about her, you didn't do it to make her feel guilty or so she'd owe you something. You did it because you cared.
Maybe I just like fighting.
Your motives aren't always perfect. So what? You're human. And so is your sister. She's not a saint. I'm sure she had many reasons for her choices. I don't think Bianca would want you to feel sad. Or guilty.
She's
your twin sister. Do you really think she wouldn't forgive you? No matter what happens, she knows you love her. Even if she dies.
Don't say that! Don't you try to make me accept this. You sound like those doctors. I don't care what their bleeping boxes say. She's not dead.
I didn't say she was. But you know Linz's science is crazy, and we don't have any idea if it's safe or if it will work. And if it doesn't...
Shut up, Janet!
Whatever happens, you need to know that she loved you. And
I said be quiet!
Don't shut me out. I care about you too.
Well, maybe I don't. Just go away.
I'm not leaving you. Not this time.
I'll throw you out if I have to.
Then I'll stand outside the door and I still won't leave. Taking a gulp of breath, I reach out to touch his hand.
This is too intense for me, man.
You push people away too much. You don't want them to see what you're feeling. But you don't have to look strong all the time.
You want me to cry on you or something?
I don't want you to cry at all. But if you needed to, I would rather be with you. I look down at our hands together. His fingers are longer than mine and so delicate. Ever since I first saw you, I've wanted, I don't know, to connect with you. You looked so alone here. Like me. I've always been an outsider, the nerd that nobody liked. My schoolmates hated me, so I learned to act like I didn't care what they thought. It didn't matter, because I was smarter and better than them, and I was going to show them all how wrong they'd been. But without friends, without clubs and activities and honor societies, the good schools wouldn't take me. I disappointed my family and myself. And I realized that I did care what the other girls thought, or I wouldn't have wanted so badly to show them up. I wanted them to respect me. And now I'm lost in another universe and I've got nothing left. Not my family, not even my enemies. And it hurts and it's scary, and... I pinch my lips together and blink rapidly, holding back the tears.
Hey, it's okay.
He squeezes my hand! Oh my gosh, it's happening! I won't leave you.
I know.
And you? Will you stay with me?
I'll try.
Ah, it's the final countdown! Eee! Last 5 minutes.
Go!
All in a bunch, we pelt down the stairs, clawing at the rails to keep from falling. Lens! The force field is collapsing!
Janet, be careful!
He catches my elbow as I stumble.
We need to get inside.
Albin pulls the door open and holds it so that everyone else can crowd through into the laboratory.
Power levels are still increasing.
The force fields are speeding up out there. We'll be crushed!
Perhaps I should recalculate my risk parameters.
Can you do it, or can't you?
With such a powerful reaction, it's clear that something will happen when we engage the plasmonic conduit. There is a substantial chance that it will kill us all.
His hand hovers over a series of controls.
The beta connector's blown loose again. Raphael, reconnect that.
Yes, sir.
3 minutes and counting. But the levels are high enough that we could engage now if necessary, if the fields keep coming.
I swallow hard. This is it then.
Wait!
Oh no, is he gonna let her go? He crosses the laboratory to stand beside his sister, his pale hand covering hers.
You never got to meet her. I'm so sorry. But Bianca never would have wanted all of us to lose our lives for a breath of a chance to save her.
He bends to press a kiss to her snow-white forehead. Oh, my heart! Oh, this is making me so sad.
I love you, little sister. Now shut this thing down!
Nathaniel?
He's right. If you can stop this safely, then do it.
Executing shutdown sequence.
He chose Janet over his twin sister. Oh, my eyes. Oh, no. That's... makes me so sad. The experiment was cancelled. The power lights dimmed, then returned to normal. The force field stretched, popped, and vanished like the soap bubbles they resembled. It was all over. Sometime later... I thought that was the epilogue. I'm like, wait, what? Albin? The force fields are down. The phones are working again. Nathaniel's calling Robert to arrange bringing the dog back, and he wants to know when he should call your parents. He doesn't answer. Albin?
Why, Janet? Why? Why?
There's nothing I can say, nothing I can do, except hold him and be here as long as he needs me. He is alive, and I am alive, and we are together. Janet and Bradley never found any trace of the wormhole or Bradley's sister Susan, or any way back to their home universe. But they were both young, and had good friends to help them make a new start. In time, they would forget the world they left behind. Life would go on. Janet decided on an English degree at a local university, using stories from her home world to fuel her creative writing. She was joined there by Albin, who chose to take some art courses and nurture the talents he had previously left undeveloped. Albin would never forget about his sister, but wasting his own life would not bring her back. She was no longer here to follow her dreams, but he was. Long ago, those dreams had been his as well. Perhaps now he could be the person she, and he, wanted him to be. Janet and Albin came together to create a series of graphic novels, the beginning of a lifelong partnership. They continued to argue and push back and forth about their artistic direction, but they were rarely seen apart. Artists Union. But you guys never kissed! Oh, but this is only part of the story, after all. I can't believe you guys never kissed! You didn't even, snuggle. The only time you guys were close to each other was when, in the CG, was when you had your hand behind your back. Ah! No, kiss! I feel gypped! Gypped! Ah! Oh, that was so heart-wrenchingly sad, though, in so many ways. Ugh. Well, that was a good route, though. We learned a lot. Oh, okay, I need to go and, recuperate from that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed Albin's route. And next time we're gonna do a bad end, and we'll see what happens then. Yeah. So, hopefully I'll see you there, guys. Until then, I will see you later.